Ready yourself for battle, lads, we're going to war. So, being that the world kinda sucks sometimes, I decided to do everyone a favor and butt into everyone else's business unwarranted because it's what I do best. That's right! In order to stomp out toxicity, we need to become toxicity. It's the fight fire with fire mindset that's been just working so damn well. Throughout history, I had to be a part of it. So, being that no one else has the balls to do it, I am. And I hope you're ready for the very first squabble, because there are several communities and companies that I would like to declare war on for various reasons. That may be a bit of a stronger terminology than what's going on. We're not going to pick up our pickaxes and dildos to go fight an actual battle, but there's some shiz I don't like, and well, yeah, we get to laugh at it, have a good time, and also try to fix things. So, the first episode of this lovely series, which you should definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new, because, well, let's just say you'll want to be on this side of the battle, because history only talks about the victors of different battles. But this time, we're talking One Piece, okay? One Piece is a great story, amazing manga, one of my favorites. I love it. And well, I've done videos talking about toxic fandoms in the past, and that's very much not what's gonna be going on here. I have plenty of material to laugh at One Piece's toxic fandom. Oh, don't get me wrong. And that will very likely be an idea for a future video. In fact, it's in my notes for videos I'm planning on making, so of course, definitely subscribe if you're interested in something like that. But today we're declaring war on the One Piece community, not the toxic fandom. And I'm making this very important distinction because I know people in the comments are gonna be like, Nux, you didn't even roast them for the fact that even though it's so long, they keep shoving it down people's throats. Yes, that is part of the toxic fandom of One Piece, and yes, there are some toxic fans even in the community itself, but I'm talking about the non-toxic aspect. I'm talking about the community itself. There are several things that I've noticed that I don't like, that I want to change. And do I think I'm actually gonna change things with this video? Absolutely not. But you know what I am gonna do? I'm gonna annoy the crap out of the people that want to insist to keep him. The hype is freaking real. I love doing this. Because you see, if the plan is annoying them, then you know you're gonna succeed. And that's a very important mindset to have. Not the annoying people mindset, the succeed mindset. Now that you mention it, the annoying people mindset's pretty great too. I am a fan. Man, this video is so lighthearted compared to the script I wrote about declaring war on Funimation, which will probably be the next episode in the series. And god damn, that's gonna get heavy. This is so lighthearted and warm. What's the worst thing that could happen? I'll get 12.5 response videos. I welcome them. Please respond if you think you're right and if you want to tussle with the muscle. That said, that doesn't mean I'm gonna respond to every respond video if I think they're ass, okay? And I'm also not calling out anyone in particular, but the One Piece community has a lot of issues. And whether you're familiar with One Piece or not, I think this is a video you can enjoy because many aspects of it are, of course, bleeding into other communities, and other communities have very similar issues. I'm mainly focusing on the One Piece one because if I would make a video declaring war on weebs, then that video would be like an hour long, very, very big, and you know, it might actually happen at one point. But I think we could tackle this one step at a time. The One Piece community on YouTube is thriving. It's great. All in all, as far as different anime communities go, I think the One Piece one is pretty much one of the least toxic out there. I mean, we've seen the Dragon Ball community and the My Hero guys, right? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. At least someone's like, well, Usopp is my favorite One Piece character. Ha! Usopp? Pathetic! Goku would slap Usopp in a fight. Goku is by far a superior character. Yeah, we've kind of stepped away from that One Piece community focused here. And while it does have many merits that I respect it for, it has many downsides that I don't respect it for. Which is why, when you see that, I urge you to use the hashtag you've lost the war. I think it's a very nice and appropriate way to let people know that this is dumb. That's right, declaring war on morons. It's my favorite thing to do. So the first big category that I wanted to talk about is the people that don't understand One Piece, but are so involved in the power scaling of One Piece that they kind of lose the narrative for the instances. They lose the forest for the trees. And I think it's actually a detrimental aspect to the overall One Piece community. Not power scaling as a whole. If you want to talk about which character's stronger, by all means, go for it. It's a fun topic. It's completely pointless. But then again, if it brings you enjoyment, then that is the purpose of watching anime altogether. I mean, maybe you get more life lessons lessons out of the philosophy in One Piece than, life lessons out of who is actually stronger, Shanks or Mihawk. But hey, I have no issue with good fun. Unless the good fun's stupid. I'm against morons. I am an anti-moron. I don't like them. I mean, I don't mind if they exist because there are a lot of people with dumb high IQs out there that I don't want to mess with. I just don't really want to deal with them. You need to have a dumb high IQ. At least like 189 to be part of the fan base. So definitely subscribe. Anywho, power scaling is a key component to the overall One Piece community because it is one of the most discussed topics in the entirety of the One Piece world. Aside from, I guess, predictions and theories, but that's a different segment of this video. I will be tackling that right after this. But this focus on power scaling is important to me because it's a shame at how linearly people are viewing the One Piece world. In many other shonen contemporaries to One Piece, and as examples, I will give Dragon Ball, Seven Deadly Sins, and Naruto. The reason I've selected these is because in Dragon Ball and Seven Deadly Sins, there was the idea of power levels introduced really early on where people could measure each other's exact power levels, so therefore you know who's stronger than who. They're given some random number, and if the number is over 9,000, then it becomes a very overused meme. Now, One Piece kind of avoided that entire issue, and yes, it is an issue, which is exactly why both Dragon Ball and Seven Deadly Sins dropped it, because if one guy has a power level of 7 and the other guy has a power level of 20, it's not going to be like this big mystery. I wonder who is stronger, who is going to win? Well, yeah, it's dumb. One Piece tackles the respect that different characters get based on their power level in a completely different way, with something like bounties. Now, the bounty that different pirates have that are wanted by the world government is a purely clout-based system. It's based on, yes, obviously power matters, because if the guy's a complete wuss that doesn't pose a threat, then he's not a threat, so he's not gonna get a high bounty. But if he's powerful, well, he can be very dangerous. I don't know, he could go kill people, as a simple example of why powerful pirates are a danger. But power's not everything. There's also influence, there's also threat level, how much information they have. As an example, Nico Robin, when she was first introduced, like when she was a kid that had zero power whatsoever, but because she knew certain secrets of the world and she was able to read these legendary poneglyphs, she had a bounty of 79 million. Now, that is a bounty level of 79 million where she had absolutely no power to back it up. It's just a simple example. It's an extreme where she was completely powerless, but she had vital information. But it just goes to show that you can't exactly discuss who's more powerful than who completely based on the bounty they have. So being that it leaves that mystery up in the air, it could create memes within the verse like Buggy, and people just scaling individuals based on their bounty. It's almost asinine because that's shattered in the Jaya arc so early on when Bellamy was sure he was stronger than Luffy because he had a higher bounty, and then Luffy kicked his ass, and then they realized, oh, Luffy's bounty just got an increase because he just beat Crocodile. So does that mean before Luffy beat Crocodile and his bounty was actually lower than Bellamy, does that mean Bellamy was stronger than Luffy? That's stupid. It's dumb. Dookie on these nerds. Why are they saying this? I don't understand. Anywho, I love that aspect of One Piece because while power levels are obviously important and you can't get away with what Luffy wants to get away with without also being strong, it's not all that matters. It's not all about who will become the stronger fighter and who will win the massive tournament arc where everything hangs in the balance. One Piece is so much more nuanced than something like that, and just approaching it on a power level basis, comparing people by bounties, I think is ridiculous. But what's even sillier in certain ways is the downright ridiculous methodology that the One Piece community actually uses. I don't know who came up with it. I don't care who came up with it. And the reason why I said I'm also comparing One Piece to Naruto when it comes to power scaling is because in Naruto, you have Genin rank, Chunin rank, Jonin rank, Kage rank, and while it's not 100% that the Kage is stronger than the Jonin, for example, it's almost always like that. There are very, very few exceptions to the rule when someone is Genin and stronger than Jonin, unless you're Naruto who never took the exam, or the way wanted ninjas are classified by the different villages and the bounties they're given. They're D rank, ninjas, B rank, A rank, S rank. That is a rank that the villages give certain wanted criminals that scale their powers specifically. So when the Akatsuki is made of a bunch of S-class villains, yes, I guess they're all pretty top tier. So I understand when you use this methodology for Naruto because that's what it actually means. But again, in a clout-based system like One Piece, where notoriety and political influence is so important to the series, using terms like, oh, he's warlord level, he's emperor level, oh, that guy admiral level. Bro, what are you talking about? That man right there, he's Yonko commander level. And these terms are used everywhere. Now, I'm not saying that everyone that uses these terms are a dumbass. Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying. No, I'm kidding. I would never say something like that. Are you crazy? But it's really stupid. I feel like it's been adopted by the One Piece community, so colloquially, it makes sense that people started utilizing these terms just to stay on the same playing field as every other One Piece channel that uses these terms. Now, they're dumb. They're so stupid. And because of this stupid headcanon that these terms actually exist, it gives people actual room to complain about the One Piece narrative, which is just mind-boggling. But before I'll get into the people that crap on the narrative because they have very little understanding of that, I'm gonna leave a steaming load on the actual power scaling ridiculousness that this involves, okay? So, warlord level, right? That's a thing that people actually use. Let's look at some warlords. You got Buggy. Buggy's a warlord. Oh yeah, but Buggy sucks. Until it turns out that Buggy was actually God Usopp or Soga King all along, and he's the strongest character in all of One Piece. Not gonna lie, I'm putting my hand on a metaphorical Bible, okay? Buggy will become Pirate King. This is my personal theory. I guarantee it. It will be amazing. It will be a day that will go down in history. But when Buggy becomes Pirate King, you will look back at me and say I'm a goddamn prophet, nay, a visionary. No, that was backwards. I'm supposed to say a visionary, nay, a prophet. Whatever, it's in the script this way. I'm leaving it in the video. Suck it. But I know people are already gonna say, well, Buggy's actually a meme. He's an exception. He's not part of the rule. It's different. Great. I'm so happy you mentioned that. Let's look at other exceptions when it comes to warlords, okay? Okay. Another warlord is Mihawk. Oh no, Mihawk's different. Mihawk is also an exception. You see, he's potentially emperor level. We don't really know how strong he is, but we know he's really powerful because, as you see, he fought Shanks, as Whitebeard mentioned, and they were, I guess, pretty evenly matched. I don't know who was stronger. Whitebeard at least thought it was an entertaining fight, and he's a pretty powerful dude. So I guess he considered them in the same level. So does that mean Mihawk is actually emperor level, even though he's a warlord? Oh, okay. No, Mihawk is also an exception. Let's not talk about him. Okay, let's talk about Doflamingo. I think it's pretty much unanimously decided that warlord tier is below admiral level, right? Amazing. Did you know that Doflamingo made his birdcage thing what that was going to kill? And I'm not saying this for hyperbole. That birdcage was gonna beat Fujitora. Yes, I think the birdcage was an ass pull on Oda's perspective, and it needed to create a clause of urgency for the Doflamingo versus Luffy fight, and everyone poops on it because, oh, the power scaling of the birdcage is stupid, but they don't realize that the narrative is much more important, and it creates this air of tension. I do think it was an ass pull. I think there could have potentially been another way about it, but to just say it's stupid all around and not look at the upsides of that situation is, again, losing the forest for the trees when it comes to power scaling. But that birdcage was gonna kill Fujitora. Fujitora couldn't get out of there. He tried his sword, he tried his meteors, could not get out of that birdcage. He was gonna die, and he's an admiral. So I think that means Doflamingo is actually admiral level. Oh, Doflamingo's admiral level now. Okay, oh no. He's also an exception. We can't include him. That's stupid. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you look at the warlords as an example, every warlord is an exception, except for Crocodile, because he was the first one introduced. So it's like people are saying, okay, warlord tier, that's Crocodile. Everyone else, that's an exception. Then what do you need warlord tier? What the hell's the purpose of this? I don't understand. When Law became a warlord, he didn't become a warlord because he bench pressed 3,000 pounds and they were like, oh, that is a warlord tier feat right there. We're giving you the status. No, he did something amazing. He brought them buckets full of still beating pirate hearts. And they were like, holy heck, guys, we should make him a warlord. It's not about the power. And to make things even funnier, if you'd have a massive battle of some of the world's strongest, okay? You have Kaido versus Akainu versus Blackbeard. This epic three-way battle of wits and balls. And all of a sudden, before anything starts, Boa Hancock walks on the battlefield. By the way, just saying, Boa Hancock is a warlord, so she's obviously warlord level. We know that warlord level isn't even close to emperor level, so she doesn't have a chance, right? And all of a sudden, she strips on the battlefield. Akainu, Blackbeard, and Kaido all get a boner, and they all turn to stone. I mean, people may think that that's stupid, in which case they're right, and that probably will not happen in the series, although I would get quite the chuckle if it did. Power scaling community would freaking lose their mind. But within the folds of the One Piece world, I guess that's possible. Oh my god, I think that means that Boa Hancock is actually Super Saiyan level. Do you see where I'm going with this? The terminology is so stupid, and it hinders discussion. Well, I mentioned why it's wrong. I didn't mention why it's narratively asinine, which is why that is what I'm going to be doing now. This is why the methodology sucks and why people lose the forest for the trees entirely when it comes to One Piece. But before I even mention that, I do sincerely apologize. In order to strengthen my point, people view One Piece power scaling linearly. Even the methodology aside, people always view it as if C is greater than B and B is greater than A, then C is greater than A. Typical power scaling, and honestly, it makes sense in series like Dragon Ball when it's mostly focused on big laser blasts. But in One Piece, it really doesn't work. I'm not gonna say it goes as far as rock, paper, scissors. I don't think the power system is as nuanced as Hunter x Hunter or JoJo's, but it's definitely not as broad as this linear power ranking either. And I don't even think that needs major elaboration. I even mentioned the Boa Hancock joke as an example, where if she's up against a straight dude, she has a freaking big chance of winning, but if she's up against a gay guy, he's gonna demolish her. I mean, as a stupid example, but that just goes to show how non-linear things actually are in One Piece. And as far as the people that calculate via absolute feats without looking at narrative at all, it doesn't really work with One Piece either. Because as a stupid example, I can mathematically prove to you right now that Kizaru, you know, one of the admirals, the guy with the light devil fruit, the guy that can move at light speed, yeah, I could mathematically prove to you that Luffy is faster than him, okay? You see, in the Davy Back fight arc, Foxy used photon beams to slow people down. Photons move at light speed. The photon beam was dodged by Luffy rather easily. Luffy in the Davy Back fight arc is clearly light speed. Luffy in Gear Second is much faster than he is in base form, like when he was up against Foxy. Luffy is now mathematically faster than Kizaru. In fact, this means anyone that ever dodged one of Luffy's attacks ever is proven with feats to be faster than the Admiral Kizaru. Do you see why I mean taking everything at base level as far as power scaling goes is kind of a headache, especially when it comes to One Piece, where the power scaling is so not focused on. Even Oda laughs at it. People asked Oda in interviews, "Hey Oda, how far could Luffy stretch?" "Oh, Luffy has a range of 50 Gomu Gomus." "Oh, okay. Well, in that case, what's Nico Robin's range for her fruit?" To which Oda says, "Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's 50 Hana Hanas." You see, Oda himself laughs at the whole idea of scaling every feat in One Piece to a T. And honestly, it hurts the narrative. One of the reasons as to why I decided to actually make this video is because a few weeks ago in One Piece in the current Wano arc, I'm going to spoil a minor thing that happens if you're not fully caught up with the manga. But Apu, one of the supernovas that was introduced in the Sabaody Archipelago arc, finally shows up again. He sees Luffy and Zoro. He uses his devil fruit power thingy and he beats them. Luffy's coughing up blood. Zoro gets a slash across his chest. They're both bleeding. They have to retreat. And the One Piece community went batshit insane. Oh my god, Luffy's a Yonko now, and Apu beat him and Zoro, which means Apu is actually Yonko level, even though we thought Apu sucked. I don't understand. Biggest twist in the game is when Apu actually turned around, beat Kaido one-on-one, became the new leader of the Beast Pirates. Everyone was freaking out. It was amazing. Yeah, this is what I mean by headcanon. Everyone was losing their mind that Apu is Yonko level. Yonko level Apu. Woo! It was a week of insanity until literally in the next chapter, it's like, oh, Apu's not that strong. If you close your ears, his sonic attacks can't actually hurt you. And then they close their ears and Apu's using his power and they're all totally fine. Literally one chapter later. But in that one chapter, that 1 week span between Apu slapping around Luffy and Zoro for a second before they understood how his power worked, and the week where his power was explained and everyone's like, oh, so if I have earplugs, this guy sucks and I could literally just punch his ass. In that 1 week, the community went insane. Every single thumbnail that popped out of the One Piece community, and I am saying this with hyperbole, obviously not every single one, was Apu is Yonko level, Apu's stronger than Luffy, how's Luffy gonna be Kaido? He's even weaker than this random supernova guy. Oh my god. Pathetic. It's so sad that people are viewing One Piece in this stupid light. And the amount of flack that people were giving Oda, this was a terrible writing decision on your part. Even if it was potentially for a gag, it completely undermines the power scaling in One Piece. I can't believe you've done something so stupid and pathetic. When I saw the turmoil, I was dying. Obviously, give Oda some credit, dude. And that's another thing people don't do. When it comes to their precious power scaling getting slightly mixed up, all of a sudden, oh my god, Oda, you messed that up. One Piece was good, but now it's Dookie. This is so sad. I was reveling in the despair of the community at that one moment. And honestly, it's what probably pushed me over the edge to make this video now. I was planning it for a while, but I didn't actually think about going ahead until all of that garbage showed up. But as far as complaining about the narrative with the colloquial terms of the warlord level or emperor level, I think the most obvious example, and I can do this for days, boys, I'm trying to be concise here while still proving my points. I have to be at least somewhat thorough with the examples I give. There's been a debate in the One Piece community ever since the whole Cake Island arc ended. Does Luffy deserve his title of Yonko? And I am so glad to be able to talk about this. In fact, it is one of my favorite debates because of how absolutely stupid it is. God damn it, people! On the side that says Luffy actually does deserve it, we have people that say Luffy didn't title himself an emperor. He was given that title by the world government because that's the threat that he was viewed as. I mean, if you look at the facts, the man has a fleet of thousands of men that are happy to die at his command. He has been the first person in all of history to cause a mass breakout at Impel Down, which completely changed the actual Marineford War. He has close connections with Rayleigh, the second in command of the previous Pirate King. He is the son of Dragon, the most wanted man in the world. He has connections to Shanks, one of the emperors. He has 2 brothers. One brother is the commander of the Revolutionary Army. His other brother was the son of the Pirate King. He is a man that, aside from taking out many Marines and many warlords along his journey, like, I don't know, Crocodile, who was about to take over a country, Doflamingo, who already took over a country, Gecko Moria, who kind of sucked, not gonna lie. Definitely not a warlord tier character right there. And then he invaded the territory of Yonko, beat 2 of the commanders single-handedly. And while it's true he didn't fight Big Mom, the news that the government got from Big News Morgans, a character that I relate to on a spiritual level, it said that he humiliated an entire Yonko's empire, escaped completely unharmed, foiled her plans, beat her commanders, and you know what? I think that kind of makes sense. That's why the government went ahead and said, all right, this dude, he's like an emperor already. Because you see, this classification was given to him by the government. But if you're looking at it through the guise of power scaling, praise power scaling. Power scaling is what we need to live by. Live and die by the power scaling. Praise the great power scaling gods. But actually, he was weaker than Katakuri when they fought. It was only because he had like determination that he was able to win, but they were like equal footing for the most part, and Katakuri's commander level, and they're equal, so Luffy's obviously not Yonko level. How can he be a Yonko if he's not Yonko level? It's almost like it's not all about power scaling or something. I mean, I don't know. That's not a hill that I'm gonna die on or anything. Maybe the title Yonko isn't something that has to do with power. I mean, again, maybe I'm mistaken. But not appreciating the narrative impact of what he's done that gives him a threat level of Yonko, and the lowest ranked Yonko, by the way, in the eyes of the government, but saying that it's not earned because he's not Yonko level? Bruh! Just shove a stick of dynamite up your anus. Get it over with already. That's just sad. And it's like this everywhere, especially when it comes to power scaling. So that is the first segment of my little war that I am declaring when it comes to the One Piece community. You know how in One Piece they abolished the warlord system? Fam, please abolish the warlord level system, which is why I give you the task to leave, you know, a hashtag, you lost the war, when you see stupidity like this. You know, power scaling, undermining narrative level stuff. And of course, if any other YouTubers want to debate this point with a response or something, honestly, go for it. If I think that you're right and I'm wrong in any way, I will definitely address it in a future video. If you just want to debate me, I'm a very busy man, and I don't think debating in this modern era is actually done to prove points. I think debating nowadays is more like who could win the argument, but it doesn't matter what the truth actually is. So I am formally declining debates. Not that I don't think I could slap your ass. Probably could, but you know, I'm a busy man. If you want to respond and I think you're right, go for it. If you want to respond and I think you're wrong, well, I will potentially do a follow-up on this if anything comes of this entire situation, because if people want to adorn my flag, you want to join my side of this battle, I urge you to. And if there actually is a follow-up, then of course I will thank you for your help. Frick yeah. But anywho, this is power scaling. Thanks for being a part of it. The next segment is theories. So as far as One Piece goes, unlike most of its shonen contemporaries, there's a lot more theorizing going on when it comes to One Piece. There's so many mysteries that the world is drenched in. It's another thing that I love about this show so much. People don't realize that One Piece is the full package. You got better comedy than almost anything else. You got your typical shonen greats, you know, the great fights, the epic moments, the badass characters, but it's also a mystery political thriller very often, and the world building and the mystery of how the world actually got to where it is such a key point. The community is waiting with our arms open to lap up any info Oda would drop on us in any way possible. Between acts 2 and 3 of Wano, when Oda plopped the whole rocks pirates thing on our face, bruh, our buttholes were stretched wide, waiting to receive anything that Oda could give us, and goddamn, did Oda nail it. We love that stuff. I mean, I know that this is more of a power scaling point, but that chapter was so funny. Everyone all along was saying that Garp kind of sucked. They were saying, okay, he's the hero of the Marines, but hey, he's only Vice Admiral level. And then that chapter came along to dookie on you. Bro, this man was Pirate King freaking level. Pathetic. He was offered to become an admiral, but he said no because he didn't want to be under the command of the dragons. Bro, the people that were saying that Garp was Vice Admiral level. That was so funny. But anyway, I digress. I get way too much pleasure from morons. They're great to look at, not always fun to interact with, but goddamn are they fun to watch. But when it comes to a story that's based like One Piece, that's focused on mystery and world building and all that, obviously there's so much more to theorize. Back in my day, I've made 2 One Piece theory videos. One about the One Piece endgame, which still could hold true. I think it would be very cool. And I made another theory like a long time ago, like right after the Dressrosa arc. It was before they even went to Whole Cake, I think. I made a theory as to what will happen in Wano. And so far, I don't mean to toot my own horn, pat myself on the back, and jerk myself off too much, but so far I was pretty dead on. Like, literally everything I said in that theory so far has come true. Like, this was before we knew the state of Wano at all, and I said it would be a revolution based on Napoleonic history. Fam, I was very happy to see how dead on I was. But again, I digress. Being that there are so many amazing things that are dropped in One Piece at all times, and some really great foreshadowing on Oda's part, there are some great potential theories from the fans that are eating up every bit of information when it comes to the series. There were a lot of theories about Sanji being a prince because he's been called a prince many times jokingly throughout the story, especially the famous Mr. Prince moment in Alabasta, which to this day is probably my favorite Sanji moment in the series, and he had a lot of great moments, but he was actually theorized to be a prince. The community came in clutch and was amazing. Kudos to you guys. There are some really cool theories out there, and I respect them. But there's a lot of garbage. All right, here's where the gloves go on to reach into the septic tank. Fam, let me explain the difference between a theory and a prediction. A theory generally needs evidence, and a prediction can be baseless guesses, okay? Now, this is a very important point, because people don't realize this, it seems, when they make theories, okay? There are so many baseless One Piece theories around, it's mind-boggling. And even to the people that are like, well, I actually predicted 90% of what actually happened in One Piece. Yeah, but I mean, that was only 1% of your overall theory videos because you've theorized literally everything with no information. Fam, the amount of people I see theorizing that Zoro's eye that's scarred shut is actually the Sharingan. Yes, fam. Little did you know, he was part of the long-lost Uchiha clan swordsman of One Piece all along. Obito never died in Naruto. No, he just kamui'd himself into the One Piece world and disguised himself as Zoro all this time. There are so many theories that the reason why Zoro's eyes shut and he never mentioned that he actually lost it, well, you see, in fact, his eye has superpowers. So, that being said, I would not be surprised at all if it's true. In fact, if I were to guess, I would think that he did not lose his eye and that he will be able to open it and his eye is gonna look like Mihawk's, you know, Hawkeye, the famous eye that he has that he can see shiz, he's a legend and all that. I do think that that's possibly one of the things he's gained from his training with Mihawk, that when he opens that eye, it'll look like Mihawk. I would never ever in a million years make a video on that because even though it's a prediction, it has zero evidence. Zero evidence. So if it comes true, and it might, you never know, I'm waiting for everyone to pat themselves on the back that they came up with such an amazing, fantastic theory. It's gonna be great. And I just say this as an example because I've been memeing about it with everyone in the One Piece community. Whenever someone says a stupid theory, or whenever I'm just having fun with them, I always mention that Zoro secretly has the Sharingan. It's my go-to memeing on baseless theories. And in fact, I'm probably gonna implement it more on my channel. When I hear people make stupid observations, like, oh yeah, baby, this is the type of guy that thinks that Zoro has the Sharingan. You know what I'm saying? No one understands Zoro. Damn right. It's too fun. But whenever anything is mentioned in a chapter that has some sort of mystery to it, all the theory channels are already jumping on it. And obviously, it's content. If you want to watch these discussions, you know what? Honestly, there's a love for One Piece. There's a love for One Piece discussions. I don't care. But it kind of creates a bit of a toxic environment for everyone else on the platform that actually cares about facts, because facts are kind of thrown out the window when it comes to theories like this. In the latest One Piece chapter, at the time of recording this video, we finally met Yamato, the son of Kaido. So Yamato saved Luffy and said, Luffy, I was waiting for you. And everyone's like, oh my god, he's becoming the next Straw Hat. Yamato next Straw Hat, confirmed. I've literally seen theories about this. Oh, I'm not done yet. Not even close. Yamato's wearing a mask because you see, he's actually Odin. That's right. You know Odin, the guy who was in boiling oil for an hour and got shot in the head in a flashback 20 years ago and is probably dead? He's probably Yamato. Why? Because he had a ribbon on his pants, and Yamato has a ribbon on his pants. Oh, it must be Odin. It's Odin, confirmed. Now, if it actually is Odin, I mean, Oda could do anything at this point, and I will suck him off. The man's a legend. I love him, and I love One Piece. But the amount of people theorizing that it's actually Odin with zero evidence, aside from the bow on his pants, bruh. And people are signing him into the Straw Hat roster already. Now, when it comes to One Piece theories, there's three basic veins of theories that I really like. We know that Oda likes basing different characters off different figures in history to a certain extent, and he's done this throughout with obvious things like Blackbeard, Teach being the actual Blackbeard named Thatch, Capone Beige being Al Capone, you know, Bonnie and Elle, like, he based so many of his characters off real-life people, and there are themes that apply to the individual character that also apply to those real-life people, and I think that's really cool. So I based a theory when I was talking about Wano earlier, comparing Kaido to Napoleon, and I made many connections, especially Law, who spearheaded this entire alliance to go beat Kaido. His name is Trafalgar D. Water Law. The only two battles in Napoleonic history that Napoleon actually lost was the Battle of Trafalgar and the Battle of Waterloo. Bruh, Trafalgar D. Water Law. How crazy is that? Now that's a good theory. Now, suspiciously, those two battles, Trafalgar and Waterloo, well, Trafalgar's in Spain. And Dressrosa, you know the arc that Law also spearheaded, that Dofi was the major player in Kaido's entire game, getting devil fruits for his crew? Dressrosa's completely based off Spain. The characters' names are in Spanish. The architecture is Spanish. Trafalgar was a war in Spain. So I'm not gonna go through all the details of this theory, but it's like mind-blowing when I came up with this, and the evidence was just piling up again and again and again, where the Battle of Waterloo was actually a battle that was focused on a rebellion as well, and I said that there was gonna be a rebellion in Wano, and then there was a rebellion in Wano. I mean, the pieces kind of stick together. That's a theory I like. It's a theory based on foreshadowing and clues that Oda's dropping. So that is what I like to call a theory, and a damn good one, if I do say so myself. That's the first vein of theory. The second vein of theory is based on clues that Oda drops that aren't necessarily based in history or anything. But like, as I've mentioned before, the entire Mr. Prince, Sanji end up being a prince thing, like, it's the little tidbits dropped along the way that let you piece together a story. And because of all of that and all these different things, I ended up theorizing about what would happen at the end of One Piece, for example. I have a whole theory as far as the Will of D, which I'll maybe make a video on eventually. Feel free to subscribe, because I actually have a sneaking suspicion that I know what's going on, and I have a very, very good hunch that I think Luffy's probably gonna die at the end of One Piece, which is kind of sad, but I will not be surprised at all. In fact, I expect it, but more of that another time. And the third kind of theory I like is theory based on narrative. Not necessarily clues or anything, but as an example, in the current Wano arc, I'm in middle of the raid of Onigashima at the time of recording this video, and it makes no sense that this raid will actually succeed. There are no emotional stakes in this battle right now. So far, Luffy's kind of been laughing along the way. Everything's kind of been going smoothly. Jinbei showed up. Marco showed up. I think that this will ultimately end in failure. So that, I guess, is a theory based on narrative. So those three kind of theories I like. And while the first two theories, styles that I've mentioned, are only touched upon infrequently, because how often can you come up with something like that? And good videos that actually tackle these theories are very sporadic. A channel that consistently makes good theories based on narrative that I've noticed is this guy, Mr. Morge. I don't think I've ever spoken to the guy, but he makes good One Piece analyses. I mean, obviously, when it comes to like facts and factoids, Tekking's my guy. What can I say? I love that man. But when it comes to actually analyzing the narrative, Mr. Morge does a good job, so feel free to check him out. I will link him in the description. But the reason why I'm mentioning this and actually putting together a kind of calendar of good theories is to point out anything that does not fall into these three categories, okay? That's what I'm doing here. I'm declaring war! War! That's right, I'm some crazy warlord right now. I'm just having fun with it, man. But come on, why you gotta churn out these baseless, not even theories? I've seen so many theories that turned out to be wrong that everyone kind of forgets about, because who remembers wrong theories? And still to this day, every single chapter that comes out, when a little thing is mentioned, a billion new theory videos are churned out. Different Reddits, different tweets. It's insane. And I think discussion is great, but baseless theories are kind of ass. There was a massively prominent theory that Shiryu, Blackbeard swordsman guy, was gonna somehow steal the diamond fruit from Juzo, and he's gonna become Diamond, and Zoro's the swordsman on Luffy's crew, and Zoro always had a dream to cut Diamond. So Zoro's massive endgame battle will be against Shiryu, who could turn into Diamond, and Zoro will manage to cut him. This was a theory that was spread far and wide in the One Piece community. And well, I don't want to say it's wrong, because you never know what'll happen, but Shiryu got a different fruit, baby. There goes that, at least for now. Not to say they won't fight or whatever. Not to say that he won't manage to get another devil fruit. I don't know. There was a chapter that I vividly remember because a lot of people talked about this, where when we flashed back to the Reverie from Wano, you had Fujitora saying, "Oh yes, I would like to abolish the warlord system." And the theories went crazy. Bro, why does he want to abolish the warlord system now? It must mean that he has nuclear weapons at his disposal. He doesn't need the warlords anymore. He can just drop nukes. It's an absolute win. And while I don't know if anyone went the nuclear route per se, the theories were wild. Why does he not need the warlords? Is it because he thinks it's not just to have pirates that are absolutely dangerous? No, that's stupid. It's probably not because of something like that. No. It's probably because they now have mechs. That's right. Finally, they've spent so long building mechs. Goddamn, every single individual Marine is getting a mech. The hype is real. I hope you're excited. And it's just stuff like that. Baseless theories that kind of plague the community and honestly undermines a lot of Oda's really good foreshadowing just based on how many bad theories are out there along with the good ones. Again, discussions are fine. I'm always a fan of discussion. But theories, a lot of people I've spoken to on YouTube, they don't even believe their own theories. They're just making them for the sake of theorizing. Like, what? I don't understand. I'm obviously not calling anyone out in particular. Everyone hustles their own way. This war that I am waging right now, it's not a war against any individual creator. Not even a creator that very much believes in these things, because I think that different people having different opinions is healthy. I just think that if your opinion is wrong, I'm gonna poop on it, as it were. Next time you see a theory that's completely baseless, hashtag you lost the war. Not saying that I want y'all to garner my flag or anything, but let's fix this world one little stupid community at a time. And yeah, this is just my practice run, as it were. My Funimation video. It's not gonna be as long as this, but it's gonna be a bigger bomb, that's for sure. Definitely subscribe for the fireworks. And I hope that I can make a follow-up video to this one, talking about, the community reaction, positive or negative. Being that I don't make, like, solely One Piece videos, I don't really consider myself in the One Piece community at all. I obviously love One Piece, and I talk about it in different video formats that talk about multiple anime at a time. But being that I'm not in the community itself, I think it's very healthy for me to declare war on it. That's right, baby. Fire away, boys. The hype is real. I had fun. And there's so many more things I wanted to actually cover, but I don't have time. It's like 40 minutes into the video or something probably right now. I wanted to talk about how everyone always roasts Oda for the stupidest things. And then just a few chapters later, they changed their mind on it. In the Wano arc, for example, when Big Mom lost her memory, people were going crazy, saying that it was a stupid ass pull on Oda's part. And then it turned out totally fine, okay? It wasn't an ass pull. It didn't ruin anything, especially because Big Mom was known to have these memory loss issues in the past. And things are gonna change when she sees Chopper again. I think it was fine. It was totally good. We'll see where Oda goes with it. Having faith in Oda is this hilarious back and forth in the community as well. You got people not willing to get off his dick for anything. Everything Oda does is literal godsend stuff. And then you got other people that they praise Oda for his greatness. But all of a sudden, one chapter comes out. Something seems fishy. Community goes wild. Oda sucks. Has been. Wash out. Piece of trash. This was really stupid. And then 2 chapters later, it turns out that everything was totally fine all along. And that was very much of an overreaction. Like, for example, I see people crapping on Wano right now. A lot of people pooping on Wano, saying that it doesn't have the emotional stakes that it should have. Oda said that this would be like a Marineford tier finale, and well, it doesn't look like that. Not on an emotional level, and not on a level of political scale. And people are pooping on Oda for that. People are actually upset at him for Wano right now. Bro, Wano's not over. When Wano ends, okay, and it turns out that this raid right now in Onigashima, they get to Kaido, behead him, the end, bye-bye everyone. Yeah, then you could crap on Oda. Then you could say it's not a great arc. But until the arc ends, have some faith in the man that's given us one of the greatest stories in our lifetime. God damn it, people. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're interested in future type of content like this, where I, rectify the little wrongs in this world. One step at a time. I had fun actually with it. I did enjoy making it. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And if anyone actually responds to this video, which I mean, I'm not necessarily expecting, but it would be cool. I'd be curious to see if you could prove me wrong. You're, after all, a Galaxy Brain One Piece power scaling fan, so I'd be curious. So when you do upload that video, feel free to tag me on Twitter so I can actually, check it out. Hell yeah. I'm all about hearing the other sides of the argument to then dookie on them even more. I'm sorry. But you need a dumb high IQ to prove to me that I'm wrong when I think I'm right. Definitely subscribe if you enjoyed. Also, if you want to hear me talk about One Piece more and more about gushing over it as opposed to roasting people that are stupid, link in the description to my Rant Cafe channel, where I am one of the 3 co-hosts of a One Piece Virgin podcast, where we are going through all of One Piece arc by arc right now. We are currently in the Thriller Bark arc, and honestly, I'm loving it. It's so much fun reading arcs week by week. It's great. Check it out. Link in the description. Please leave a like on this video because I am sure that it will be getting dislike bombed by people that disagree with me, because I like taking stances that people aren't willing to take. Not that I'm just trying to be a contrarian. I spit facts, and I know that facts are being spat. I'm not this type of dude that's gonna be like, well, I don't know if I was actually right or anything. I'm sincerely sorry about anything I've said. All right. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I know facts were spit. So drop a like, stay weird, and remember to remind the adversary, # you've lost the war.